I really don't like digital cinematography. Maybe I'm just pretentious, but I find it too clean, too sterile, too real. There's something about the texture of film that gives it that hyper reality that I think makes movies special. But I feel like my mind was blown when I saw the digitally shot film, The Celebration. It proved to me that there can be texture and beautiful imperfections to digital cinematography. And then I thought about all the early digitally shot movies I had seen. 28 Days Later, Inland Empire, and Blair Witch Project. I love these movies, but I hate digital cinematography. So why is that? Because early digital cameras were bad. But all the flaws of that technology were actually a benefit. These imperfections, just like those of analog, contributed to creating a distinct character to the films. They make them feel edgy, grimy, and terrifying. And all of these movies are horror or horror adjacent. Essentially, the technical choice of using early video cameras allowed for filmmakers to accentuate the unsettling atmosphere of their movies. So today I want to talk about how the early digital cinematography of The Celebration makes it one of the most disturbing watches of all time. The Celebration, or Festen in its native Danish, is a 1998 film directed by Thomas Vinterberg. The film was shot on the Sony DCR PC3, which uses mini DV cassettes. This camera was a consumer-grade handycam, not even close to what would be considered a professional film camera, a choice which was meant to protest the elitism of Hollywood productions. The film documents a gathering of an affluent family for their patriarch's 60th birthday. The opulence of the family's estate turned hotel belies the horrifying secrets of this family. The youngest son, Michael, is an abusive, adulterous husband. The middle child, Helene, is a manipulative, cold anthropologist student who fetishizes black men. And the eldest, Christian, is consumed with grief after his twin sister's suicide. It is soon revealed that their father, whom they have come to celebrate, hides an even darker secret, and Christian has come to confront him about it. The film is a striking critique of the incestuous, abusive nature of the wealthy, a meditation on grief, and a commentary on Danish society as a whole. The film may be a drama, maybe even a melodrama, but it's shot like a horror movie. The conditions of the Dogma 95 movement prohibited the creation of genre films, but I'd argue that this is one of the greatest horror movies of the 20th century. In addition, the limitations of the Dogma 95 credo emphasize the horror of the film. The conditions of shooting on digital, using only natural light, and utilizing handheld contribute to an overwhelming sense of dread. Moreover, these techniques are often staples of horror films. Vinterberg also effectively applies chaotic handheld camera work and disruptive jump cuts to further the disturbing atmosphere. In the end, the film doesn't fit within any genre, but the tone of the film is absolute terror. The horror is accentuated by Vinterberg's dynamic camera work. The film implements several uses of Dutch angles, POV shots, and extreme low and high angles. Each of these techniques being staples of horror movies. These choices create an unnerving atmosphere. It's almost like the film is a demented family movie that we shouldn't be watching. The use of intense close-ups through zoom lenses also contributes to this sense of voyeurism. The close-ups are then contrasted with extreme wide-lens shots, which give the lavish setting an otherworldly, distorted presence. We see the characters interact in these distorted environments from either low or high angles, which duly exaggerates the voyeurism and the powerlessness of the family members. The limitations of early digital cameras are especially present in The Celebration's night scenes. The low light requires increased ISO settings and consequently more grain and digital artifacting. This results in a more grimy, unnatural feeling. Vinterberg makes particular use of this during a nighttime sequence where Christian sees his dead sister. This is the most haunting scene in the film in my opinion. Essentially, the limitations of this technology were more of an asset than a detriment. All of this unease is accentuated by a very noticeable lack of music. This was one of the tenets of Dogma 95. The lack of music creates an ambient terror to the whole film. Ultimately, silence may be the greatest tool for horror, and Vinterberg knows this very well. In conclusion, The Celebration exemplifies how digital technology can be applied in creative ways for film. Digital cinematography can be used in exciting and new ways which emphasize the synthesis of technical and creative decisions. Additionally, the film's dark, menacing tone is reinforced by the filmmaker's set of limitations. Perhaps an important takeaway is that the more limitations that are placed upon a production, the more creativity flourishes in order to overcome said limitations. Thanks for watching.